Good afternoon, everybody. Thursday afternoon. Welcome to The Exchange. I'm Rebecca Saran. David is on vacation this week, and we're very pleased to have Phil Lumpert joining us today.
Well, thank you.
He is a consumer advocate, a writer. You can hear him on CBS Radio, as well as you can see him on the Lifetime Network, on the Image Workshop, a new television program.
And here on years,
that's right, coming on our show. And you just got back from Florida, didn't you?
Came back from Florida, where I visited Burger King, and the previous week I was out at Oak Brook, Illinois, testing all the new McDonald's things. You know, what's going on, especially with us baby boomers, we grew up in these red plastic seats. We love fast food.
That's right.
But we've stopped to go. So now they're coming up with these healthier foods, or at least foods that they're saying on the surface is healthier. McLean, as that hit 2 or 3 months ago, everybody rushed out to McDonald's to taste the new McLean burger.
Okay.
Well, their sales are off by about 40% now. So after we went back to McDonald's and we found that it's the same old thing, you know, even though it has a little fat, they're trying to regroup. They're trying to figure out what the next step is. And I got to taste some great things. McDonald's, pizza, we've heard about it for 20 years. It'll be out in about a year and a half. McDonald's is going to start to sell fresh fruit.
Just sell, it's not going to be part of a recipe, whether it's
Apples,
an apple pie
bananas. In fact, they're changing their pies. You know those fried pies?
Which are great.
It's great. Well, they have a baked version.
Oh, so you don't have the fat content.
Exactly, and it's terrific. And also, hot stuff, spaghetti from McDonald's.
Ooh, I like it.
It was very good.
I could take the whole family 5 days a week then.
Exactly, and that's what they want. That's what they really want to do.
That's what they want people to
They want people to go back to McDonald's on a continuous basis, not just to drive in through the window. And keep in mind, those drive-in windows now comprise about half of their sales.
Do they really?
McDonald's and Burger King.
I guess we're all in such a rush all of the time that that's the life we've gotten accustomed to.
Well, Burger King is testing a couple new things, too. They're selling Weight Watcher meals, frozen. You know the Weight Watchers that you would buy in the frozen food? Now you can go to McDonald's, they'll microwave them for you. You can buy them there.
You're kidding.
No, and also, very exciting, for drive-in windows, they're making like an egg-shaped thing that you drive in, you're fully enclosed.
Oh, no.
And they're going to have a video screen, a color video screen, so you can finally see what that person is that you're talking to at the end of that little plastic sign. I'm not sure whether that's going to get sales up or down.
I don't know if that's good or bad. Well, it's going to be a pleasure to have you here for the next today and tomorrow. On today's program, speaking of health, the gentleman who put his life on the line, we have Dr. Richard Novak. He joins us. He was a college professor on sabbatical, headed down to the Bahamas. Ironically, he came into contact with the Medellin drug cartel, and he took them on, and he won. His story has been written in a brand new book. It is entitled Turning the Tide. He's going to share a story with us today.
And in fact, what was interesting, he was just telling us that he got stabbed, he's gotten shot and everything.
And he survived, and he's back here in the States.
He's back with us. Also, Betsy Fowler is going to be with us. She has put together an effort to change the way we think about endangered species. She's going to tell us about that, and also some scary issues when it comes to animals that we've known and loved, for example, elephants, which are now an endangered species.
Also, earlier this week, I did an interview with J. Randy Taraborelli. He was the former editor-in-chief of Soul magazine, the publisher there as well. He has been fascinated with Diana Ross since he was 8 years old, and he has written several pieces on her. His most recent book is Call Her Miss Ross. This takes you from the very beginnings of Diana Ross's career all the way up to the present, and he has some very interesting details. He has spoken with friends, with business associates, more than 200 different interviews, put them together in this book.
And Jane Porcino, who is really going to investigate and help us investigate the aging of America as we're getting older, how our lifestyle is going to change. And in fact, one of the things that she's told us, and it's in her book, how more and more people are living together. You know, when you're kids and in college, you all room together, well, it looks like the end of our lives we're going to be doing the same thing for companionship as well as the financial responsibilities.
Which makes it easier.
Exactly.
And safety reasons, too. Also, the Culinary Institute has put out their brand new cookbook, and you should see this cookbook. It is The New Professional Chef, the title of it, and we have the Executive Vice President of Education with the Culinary Institute joining us today. We have Chef Zach. He has a shrimp and chicken gumbo today. Now, with the local news, we have Tom Appleby. He is standing by. Tom?
Thank you, Becky, and good afternoon, everyone. If there are any words stronger than stalemate or deadlock, lawmakers in Hartford are hard-pressed to find them today. Last night, House Democrats failed to muster enough votes to override Governor Lowell Weiker's veto of a budget based on a conventional sales tax. Weiker remained steadfast in his refusal to approve a tax and spending plan without an income tax. Members of the state Senate are equally adamant in their refusal to approve a tax on wages. Experts say this latest impasse could delay passage of a budget for days or even weeks. The curator for the renowned painter Robert Motherwell says the artist's Greenwich home will become a museum. Motherwell died Tuesday of cardiac arrest while on vacation on Cape Cod. He ranked with Jackson Pollock and Willem de Kooning as one of the foremost practitioners of abstract expressionism. That's a style of modern art that flourished after the Second World War. We'll get ready for a possible air pollution alert today. The air quality index is expected to reach 100 for the second day in a row, and that puts the area's pollution in the unhealthful range. If this hot, humid weather continues, the air quality index could go above 100, putting the region on an air pollution alert. And meteorologists say the heat wave should last into the weekend. Now let's look at the specifics of that forecast. This afternoon it will be hazy, hot, and humid, highs in the 90s. Tonight, warm, muggy, lows near 75. And tomorrow, another hazy, hot, humid day, highs again in the 90s. We'll have more for you on that tonight on News 12. We hope you'll join us. Now back to Becky and Phil.
Very good. Thanks, Tom. Boy, hot weather and the air pollution alert on top of it.
I'm glad we're in here rather than
Indoors,
being outside.
that's right. Even today it pays off not to have any windows.
Exactly,
Usually it doesn't. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have Dr. Novak and Turning the Tide in just a minute. Singer and guitarist Jose Feliciano. He joins us next week on The Exchange.
The Exchange is brought to you in part by the Gramophone Shops of New Canaan and Greenwich.
Summer theater comes alive at the Westport Country Playhouse. See your favorite stars from stage and screen performing in the charming, rustic atmosphere of America's foremost summer theater. Opening June 17th, shows at 8:30 p.m. Monday through Saturday, matinees at 2 p.m. Wednesday and 5 p.m. Saturday. See Juliet Mills in the British suspense thriller Dangerous Obsession, July 15th through the 27th. For ticket information, call the Playhouse box office at 227-4177.
I hear thanks, Hank, for auto repairs. Major, minor, truck, RV. We do them. We do them right the first time. If we don't do them right the first time, I sure want to know about it. People say, thanks, Hank, for that computerized wheel alignment. I understand it now. You gave me a before and after printout. People say, thanks, Hank, for that Goodyear Certified Auto Service nationwide guarantee. I guarantee that we won't take your money unless you feel that there's value for the money.
I think that hospice is an organization that just comes and sits around your bedside when you're dying. When in fact, it's not at all. It's about love and friendship and coordination and managing your illness. As you lose control physically, it gives you your dignity mentally. They're just the best.
Well, they say many times that fact is stranger than fiction, and that certainly applies to the story you're going to hear today, having to do with our next guest. A college professor headed off to the Bahamas on a sabbatical. During the course of his sabbatical, he encountered the Medellin cartel. He went against them at their own game. He won. This has been put together in a new book. It is entitled Turning the Tide. We have Dr. Richard Novak with us today. The book has been written by Sidney Kirkpatrick, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much, Becky, for inviting me. Phil, also.
It seems as if it would be relatively harmless. A college professor goes off on sabbatical to study hammered-head sharks. And then what happens once you arrive in the Bahamas?
Well, I got there, and I had been teaching in Key Largo, Florida, teaching oceanography and underwater ecology, coral reef ecology, underwater photography, a number of things. And because of coral reef degradation and real estate developers, I decided that there's got to be a better place because the pollution on the reefs was really bad in Key Largo. So I took one day, just went off to Nassau by myself and said, I'll take a day. What does a diver do on the day off? He just goes diving in Nassau, and it was terrible. New Providence Island, really, Nassau is the capital. But then I got next day to the other side of New Providence Island, a place called Lyford Key, and I said, this is where I'd like to be. And so I started diving there. It was beautiful, almost virgin reefs, better than Florida. And so at the time I started there, I went into a place called South Ocean Beach Hotel. I was the only person in there. Interestingly enough, I just stepped off my boat. The water was so clear. I thought it was about 3 feet deep, and the next thing I knew, I went down with all my clothes on. Walked up to the lobby and said, I'd like to get a room. And a long story short is that subsequently I started teaching diving at this hotel. They hired me and said, we need to bring people in diving, you'll do it. And so I was happy to do it.
When did you encounter the cartel and members of the cartel?
It was accidental. That was 1978. I had moved from, when I got tired of Nassau, I just flew into a place that I chose by putting a finger on a map called Norman's Cay. I had never heard anything about it. And went there and started diving, and it was fantastic. And I said, this is where I'm going to spend the rest of my life. So I set up an underwater activities program there, which I would teach summers and Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter, Boxing Day, which is English, British. And the whole point is that that's when the drugs moved. In 1978, I went there and taught a course there on underwater photography and coral reef ecology.
So this had already been set up. The cartel had already set up this island.
Well, it really wasn't. It's not the way it seems in the book. You have to remember the book took place over 3 years. My life took place over 12 years of this, and the editor kind of put it together. So anyhow, I was lucky enough. I had studied in Germany, taught in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Carlos later was the number 4 man in the Medellin cartel. The whole cartel, the Medellin cartel is done, period. I was down there last Thursday, as you know, and it's the same thing with different names. It's Cali.
Oh, so it's
cartel.
still in existence.
It is.
All right, let's look at some pictures, and you can tell us who we're looking at, some of the key players in the story.
Well, that kind of looks
like
familiar.
I know who that
Looks like a
is.
centerfold. This is the one picture I said, please don't use in the book.
And this is when you first went down there?
Right.
Okay.
And that's when I first met Carlos later. The interesting thing is that both the Bahamian police, Royal Bahamas Police, and the American DEA were after him. And I took a picture of him, well, not this picture, but a picture of him and his 2 pilots. Because I always walked around. He just thought I was a dumb professor, spelling like a fish all the time, crazy about sharks, and he kind of wore me as a academe for his new city, his new nation.
But you knew exactly what was going on with him.
The only way I found out is that these people, his bodyguards who were trained in Stuttgart,
Or guards like this on the right outside the
he
hotel.
had these white German bodyguards who spoke no English, and I understood their dialect. I knew in 1978 that they were smuggling.
Okay, and this
Before anybody else did, DEA,
And these are the
FBI,
planes that
these are
he
the
was
planes they
smuggling
use
in?
for smuggling, yeah.
Okay. One of the questions that I guess I have in looking at this, and what is this picture showing us? Just a drug deal going down?
The interesting thing about this picture is that Carlos is snorting cocaine. Now, you realize you can be recovered from cocaine. You can be rehabilitated. But once you get to crack, forget it. You smoke it once, you smoke it. You don't snort it. Smoke it once, it's over. You'll always try the rest of your life to duplicate that experience.
Right.
And when you look and going through the book and so on, I mean, you did not intend to go up against a drug cartel. It's got to be a scary experience. I mean, we were speaking about it earlier. And if we look at our experience now in supposedly winning a war in the Gulf and everybody, you know, if somebody stabbed me, pointed a gun at me, forget stabbed me, just held a knife to me, threatened my child, threatened my life, I would be on a plane out of there. Becky would be right with me. We'd forget our bags. Why didn't you run? Why did you stay there? And why did you choose to go?
You realize I'm a minister, and my heroes are Martin Luther, not in the way you're taught in Sunday school, and I teach German literature, Immanuel Kant, who says, have courage, do what your mind tells you to do. And so that's what my background is. And when somebody, I'm not sure I agree, Phil, with your saying you would get out of there fast. I think if somebody threatened you, tried to kill you a couple of times, just put them, luckily they were so coked up that they used the wrong side of a machete on my head. Lucky for me. Right?
To boil this
you
down,
would do something about it.
We're just about out of time, but they eventually learned who you were, that were you operating as an informant for the United States government, giving them information, because he was eventually arrested and is now in jail, Mr. Lader.
Yeah, the best part of the whole thing is I had a chance to kill him. It's against the way I lived, the way I was brought up. And I saw him in Jacksonville at the trial, because I testified there.
You had a chance to kill him on the island.
I had a couple of chances.
And why
after he tried to kill me.
You didn't?
I don't know, but it was so good to see he had manacles on his ankles and on his wrists. And I thought, I like this, and I hope we win this case. And we did win the case. He went to jail for life. He'll get out of there when he dies of old age, if not sooner by some other reason.
Well, certainly,
and I feel happy about that.
Certainly in this era of the 1990s, people such as yourself having more personal responsibility, making the world a better place. Thank you on behalf of all of us for doing this, and it gives us all inspiration.
You're
welcome, and thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
And if you would like to find out more, the name of the book is Turning the Tide, One Man Against the Medellin Cartel. There you can see it, written by Sidney Kirkpatrick, written about our guest today, Dr. Novak. Once again, thanks.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with you coming up.